So yesterday morning, we got the news that the Packers would be moving on from Jaire Alexander. And at the time, there had not been information come out about exactly what the Packers had offered him. And a few hours after the initial release news came out, there was some more information that came out. So this is from Albert Breer. He put this out on X. He said the Packers offered Jaire Alexander a reduced, incentive-laden one-year deal that'd make him a free agent in 2026. Alexander turned it down, not liking the structure. Green Bay tried to trade him in March and during the draft. That also failed. So Alexander's a June free agent. So now hearing this makes perfect sense why Jaire would not want to accept this Packers deal. Before this, he was scheduled in the contract he was on in Green Bay before he got released. He was scheduled to become a free agent in 2027. And so this deal, according to Albert Breer, would instead make him a free agent in 2026, and it's a super incentive-laden deal. And so if you're Jaire, that means you only have 1 year of security under the contract remaining if you agree to the restructure, and it means you will enter free agency, but you're going to be 1 year older. He'd be 29 next offseason, and when you start to get close to 30, teams start to question, is this guy going to be able to stay healthy and continue to produce at the same level? You have that factor, and then let's say he were to suffer another kind of injury in 2025, and considering what has happened the past couple of years, that wouldn't be surprising. I think then at that point, there'd be barely any teams out there that would want to give him a good amount of money if he were to get injured once again and be a year older. So I think for Jaire, becoming a free agent, declining this offer from the Packers will likely mean that he gets more than a 1 year deal. And so I think that just because of that, he likely wants more long-term security. And if he was, 25 years old, maybe things are a little bit different. But because he's 28, I feel like he would want to ensure that he could get a 2, 3, 4 year deal this offseason, at least a 2 year deal, just so that way he has some more security and isn't just under contract for one season, and he has just a little bit more, a surety of what he's going to have for the next couple of years when it comes to a contract. So it's not surprising at all that he declined that deal, and it even made me wonder, did the Packers really want Jaire back, or did they know he would turn that down and they were just trying to make it look like they were trying to resolve things so that way the split could be a little more, accepted by everyone, because it's like, oh, at least we tried to keep him. Maybe that's the case, maybe not, because if you're the Packers, that's a less risky deal. Like if I, as a Packers fan, just looking at the money you're paying Jaire, things like that, it would be great to have had him on the roster in 2025, because if he stays healthy, that's a great deal. And if he were to get injured, from the Packers' perspective, then you can move on from him after the season. So I think that would be a fine deal from the Packers' perspective, but I really do wonder if they thought there was any chance he would stay. And Tom Silverstein said here at PackersNews.com, he shared this in an article. He said the two sides never got into deep conversations about reuniting. It was more of a formality, given nothing was happening on the trade market, and the Packers never were going to offer as much as Alexander could likely get on the open market. So as I was, thinking about this before I had read this Tom Silverstein article, I was thinking, the Packers just trying to make it look like they want Jaire back, so it's not like they just, didn't try anything. It's like, well, now we can say we tried. And then when I was reading this, and he shared here how it was more of a formality, and they never really had deep conversations, it makes you wonder, what the Packers, what they were really doing here. Were they really trying to get Jaire back just on a more reasonable deal, or did they know that things were going to not work out this way and that they would just part? And then at least for the past couple weeks, it at least looked like the Packers were trying to keep him. It was like they were open to a resolution, it seemed. It seems like things were maybe moving in the right direction, and then it doesn't work out. So I do wonder if that was sort of what happened here. Now we'll see where Alexander lands. Now because he's not under contract, or he's a free agent, he can sign any kind of deal anywhere else, and so now teams would definitely want to sign him. I'm curious to see what deal he ends up getting, because there's probably someone out there who's willing to take a risk on him. It seemed that teams weren't wanting to trade with the Packers because of his $17.5 million salary, but now because you don't have to pay that, he'll probably make more money elsewhere and get more long-term security. So That sort of seems to be the situation here. But if you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys next time.